Most people think a bucket list is something you create once and slowly work through for the rest of your life. But what if the real goal is to finish it and then build a completely new one? Welcome to the podcast. My name is Casey. I'm going to be your host week in and week out. My mission here is to deliver clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life. And you go, wait a second, I thought this was a retirement podcast. It is. And we'll cover both the financial and non financial aspects of this phase of your life. If you're one of those individuals that says, hey, I want the by the number stuff, I want to talk about the financial stuff, I want the latest trends in investments and income planning and healthcare planning, just look for those episodes titled By the Numbers. And then if you're looking for that content that's a little bit more non financially related, you're in the right spot here today for a Freedom After 50 episode. So just look for those episodes titled Freedom After 50. We release these short form episodes every Friday. And most of the content we share with you actually comes from additional content or articles or blog posts that we include in our weekend reading email that goes out every single Friday. I curate that email. I put the articles in there that I'm reading and include in there 4 articles on trending topics that can keep you up to speed on the latest and greatest things to just make retirement that much better. That's our goal here on the podcast. So to get yourself signed up to receive that weekly email, all you have to do is shoot me a text, and you can text me the key letters WR to 888-599-4491. We'll send you a link to get yourself signed up to receive the email. We'll also send you a free digital copy of my Wall Street Journal best-selling book, Job Optional, so you have everything you need to elevate your retirement. Today, we are here with Jet Vertz. You may recognize Jet if you've been a long-time listener to the podcast. You might recognize Jet from episode back in 390. So about 4 or 5 years ago, we had Jet here on the show. We talked a lot about his book, The Purpose-Driven Retirement, talked a lot about bucket lists and retirement, and he also is a teacher at the University of Rhode Island's Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. Jet, I'm excited to have you back with us here today to go just a little bit deeper and kind of talk about some of the things you've seen happening with your students over the last 4 or 5 years.
I'm excited to be your guest and I'm honored to be your guest. Yeah, I asked a question. I'd be more than happy to answer any other follow-up questions you have.
Well, I know you always are. You're always there to answer questions. And I said before we got started, I said, Jen, you look younger than the day that we first met. And you said, well, that's not possible. But I think it has a lot to do with the focus that you keep in your life, the energy that you keep in your life around helping other people live a purpose-driven life as you live your very own purpose-driven life. That's the true fountain of youth. And I know core to your teachings at the University of Rhode Island is this concept of creating a purpose-driven bucket list. And so I want to talk about what's happened since you started teaching that class, what's happened in the last 4 or 5 years. That's kind of how we got here today. You said, I'm seeing some things that are changing. I have repeat students and things like this. These are the things that keep coming up. So first, before we get into some of those things that have happened the last few years around this concept, for those that maybe didn't listen to our conversation or aren't really sure what a purpose-driven bucket list is, how do you define a purpose-driven bucket list?
Well, the way how I define it is I tell my students to come up with 3 categories of things to do. Category 1, something that you want to do for yourself, somewhat of a selfish. Category 2, something that you want to do for your family. And category 3, something that you want to do for your community, nation, or the world. Those things that you want to do before you die. I specifically ask each student to come up with 2 things on each categories, altogether 6 items. Then I go on to tell them to put those things they want to do, put it in writing in SMART mode, which means that has to be very specific. In other words, don't say, I'm going to Europe. Be very specific to say, I'm going to Paris in France, okay? And something that is measurable. something that you have really accomplished it. Hey, you can say, I've done it, it's measurable. Something that is achievable. Don't say that you're gonna run marathon when you have never run marathon before. Okay, something that is truly achievable within your lifetime. And something that is time bounded. R is for realistic. Something realistic you can do and put it in time bounded approach. Don't say I'm going to Europe, but just say I'm going to Paris on such and such location in Paris. This is what I'm going to do by such and such time. Very specific. I asked each student to come up with 6 bucket list items, 2 of each categories, one for yourself, one for your family, one for community, nation, and the world. And they will share those things with the class. And class will give actual input as to, hey, is that realistic? Is that really, can you do this? Such and such. And their very last assignment is to share that list with your family, your loved ones. Because once you do that, guess what? They'll make sure that you accomplish those things.
Mm.
So that's
And
the bucket list I come up with.
so these three categories you came up with, the selfish category for myself, for my family, and for community. Is there some significance to these three different categories? How did you develop this? Hey, these are the three. Did it take you a while to really drill down to the three most powerful categories?
Uh, I don't know. I just came up with those items when I retired. I felt like that I should be doing something productive. And when I go on to research online for bucket lists, typically they're all mostly selfish. And I felt that
Mm.
it's just doing something for myself is not alone was worthwhile. So that's why I came up with something for family, then something for community and the world to make it more meaningful.
Hmm. And it feels like it feels very much like this is goal setting. It's just very
It
intentional goal
is.
setting for a different phase of your life, especially when you're putting it in that SMART format. That definitely is something us goal setters are very familiar with. But it also doesn't feel like sometimes these goals can be aspirational in nature. And
Oh, absolutely.
it feels like you've been somewhat intentional in not making it maybe aspirational as I would think of it, because you give a date to it. It needs to be done by this time. When I think of an aspirational goal, it's I want to be the best grandfather to my grandchildren. So would you discourage those types of more aspirational goals and make these bucket list items really things that can be accomplished by a specific date and a specific time?
Well, I do not discourage them for aspirational, but I have in a mode, one of the smart mode is R, realistic. Something that is realistic that you can achieve before you die. So aspirational, yes, but something that is achievable and realistic
Yeah, and measurable. Some of those more
and measurable.
aspirational
Yeah.
goals can be a little difficult to measure at the end of the day. Now, you want them to do two per category. Is that for time's sake? You're just trying to make sure that we get two per category, or is that something that some people struggle with this and you know they can come up with two? I assume there's some in there. I would get, hey, well, how do I get down to two? I've got 50, I've got 20, I've got 10 in each one of these
Well,
categories.
actually, I have them one of the class. I have them make list of 6 in each category. Then I tell them to uh, dwell down to 2 per category.
And what do you think the power is in this? I imagine the real value of this isn't I want to accomplish something someday. I imagine there's something a bit deeper in creating this bucket list.
Well, I think these bucket list item provides the purpose and for them to go on beyond just, I think we all talk about to live long, longevity. You have to eat right, exercise, and all those things. But I also feel that one should have a purpose. And I believe these bucket lists, having not only just doing for yourself, but family and community, provides that purpose, meaningful thing that you want to do. And I believe that, to live long and productively is not just uh, exercise and eating right. There's a third component to it, and I believe that is the purpose.
And when we look at these different categories, I am curious how you define this word purpose. As if we look at the selfish category and someone says, I want to purchase a brand new Corvette in 2 years, or they look at the family category and I want to take my family on an RV trip in 6 months. I don't know that some would think of that as something that's going to create real purpose in our life. So maybe just help us define the word purpose as it relates to these goals or this bucket list.
I believe the purpose is really different for each individual. Some of our purpose could be much more lofty, as perhaps some are not as lofty. For instance, what you just mentioned, I want to purchase an RV vehicle and I'm going to take my family on vacation to Grand Canyon. Well, that is purpose because you have set some goals, set some point which you want to reach. Absolutely, that's purpose.
Mhm.
That will drive that person to, hey, I said I'm gonna do this by within next 2 years. Well, he has to work at it now to make that happen. And I believe that gives the incentive, provides the person, reasons to live on at least for, 2 years, which so I can accomplish that purpose.
And this is, I would imagine, why you're having these repeat students that are coming back for a second time, and you're going, "Why are you doing this again? We already went through this process." And they're saying, "Well, I completed my list. I already did everything on my list." And so when I think about creating this purpose-driven bucket list, you're okay with them structuring a list that could be accomplished in a relatively short period of time. I imagine some of these are coming back 12 months later, even.
Oh,
Uh,
yes. I have several people. Typically, my class, I try to limit my class to 20 people. So because they share things together. And about one quarter, about five people are repeaters now. And I would ask them, hey, why are you coming back here? You already made your list. And they said, well, I finished my list. I completed my list. So I want to come back. So yeah,
is there power in that, in creating a list? Especially, I could see this at the front end of retirement. You first step into retirement, just to create some momentum. You put together a bucket list that can be accomplished in a relatively short period of time. Again, just to have that momentum.
absolutely, there's momentum. When they come back, they realize that they accomplished something. It had some meaning. It get them excited. So they come back, so they want to create more, so they could go on for another set of bucket lists they want to achieve. Yes, definitely, And typically, people who are repeating my class, they are much more excited than some people who's doing it first time because they actually accomplished it. They liked it, and they want when second time or third time they come back, they actually come up with the bucket list item. They are much more grander, much larger. Okay, because they
Mm.
realize, hey, I can accomplish this. Now I want to go on to this set. Yeah.
So is that something that you would encourage the listener to do if they've never done this before? Create a bucket list. Don't put 6 items in each category. Put two in each category that you can accomplish over, say, I don't know what kind of time frame you would say, 12 months or 2 years. And then maybe you're saying stay away from some of those grander goals. Let's get some momentum, set some things that can be done over the next 12 to 24 months. Is that maybe some guidance you even give to your first time attendees?
Actually, when I first developed the course, I didn't have that in mind. However, when I realized people are coming back to accomplish, after accomplishing this, and they wanted to set another set of goal, I realized, oh, I didn't think that would spur them to come up with a grandeur bucket list. But I think it does. It is helping them to come back. So I
Mhm.
do not in my class to them, hey, this is too grandeur thing or this is too less. I let them come up with that's why I give them very specific, two on each item, six minimum.
Mhm. Yeah, if someone is listening and say, I love this concept, I don't have a bucket list, I want to get started, what do you think what would be the first thing that you would walk them through to get them started on this path?
Well, very first thing I do is I ask them to take what we call a pre-bucket list, your purpose. Do you have a purpose in your life? And I actually have a piece of paper asking about uh, 25 to 30 different questions to show what kind of purpose that you have in your life. And it gives you a score of anywhere from 50 to 100. And based on that score, that, hey, you need to do this kind of purposeful thing so your life is more have more meaningfulness. So
Mhm.
yeah, we do that. Then after that, I ask them, hey, to make sure you understand where you stand, I want you to draw a lifeline. Lifeline is where they actually, from the birth to today, what they have accomplished, what things they like to do, what were the period, it was sorrowful period or happy period. They actually go through that. And I ask them to share that lifeline with the class. After doing that, okay, now you can define yourself as who you are today. And I actually asked them to come up with a personal calling card. One piece, a little piece of card describing who you are as a retiree, not as who you were when you were in your profession, a vice president of something or whatever, or you were a teacher. But now you are retired. You're no longer vice president. You're no longer professor. Now tell me, who are you today as a retiree? Once they define all this, now you know who you are, what you have accomplished. Now, based on those traits, what you are good at, what you like to do, what are your passion, what are your hobby. Now, based on those background, now I want you to develop, hey, what you want to do and accomplish something before you die. So that's the way how I define what the bucket list should be.
And if you want to go a little bit deeper, of course, you can always get a copy of Jet's book. We'll have a link in the description, but also follow along. We're going to continue to interview Jet about a lot of the different things that he just mentioned here and go a little bit deeper so you have that context you need to take the first step. Jet, until next time.